Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Beyond the South Stand with me, Jez Davies. I am joined with my illustrious co-host, should I say, Morgan Hewitt. Hi, Morgan. How are you?
Were you about to say the all-time illustrious co-host?
I was going to say the sexiest man in Dereham, and I changed my mind at the last minute. I bottled it.
No, you did
I
okay.
I know why.
I'm all right. I'm quite chilly, but hence the reason why I'm wearing another jumper.
Yeah.
So other than that, I'm okay. How about you?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to the game this weekend. And I guess without further ado, we should introduce our guest today, Mr. Wayne Jones. How are you, Wayne?
Yeah, good evening, chaps. I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming back on again. It's obviously we filmed an off-script episode in the summer, so it's nice to actually, get our driving gloves back on for a proper episode of Beyond the South Stand, should I say, and do a real one with Wrexham, the visitors. So I think you're a man that needs little introduction, but if you just like to introduce yourself, just tell us a little bit about yourself for those that didn't watch the previous episode.
Yeah, so Wayne Jones, I'm the landlord of the Turf Hotel, as it's known, which is a pub which is located pretty much attached to Wrexham's Carrow Road Racecourse Stadium. Been there for 17 years, and the delights of running a pub.
Fantastic. Yeah, which I imagine, as we discussed previously, has got a lot busier in the last few years.
Absolutely, yes. So, like I said, in the summer, it's always been a respectable pub. It's always been, it's always been a decent local pub. Good hardcore locals. Always done really well from the train station because we've always been right next door to a train station. So weirdly, always had got a lot of footfall from the train station, and equally the university, which is next door. So yeah, always been a really good pub. But as you can imagine, we certainly weren't getting. Carrow from Kansas coming in 4 years ago like we get now, which is a little bit bizarre.
It's fantastic. So, we talked to you just before you went away on tour with the team to Australia. I mean, how was that? And were you able to have a sort of a chance to relax, or were you there on a bit of a working element as well?
Yeah, overall it was brilliant. I was lucky enough when I was younger to do a couple of years traveling around Australia, so it was nice. I managed to meet up with several people that I'd made friends with all them years ago, and get to see some of the sites that I didn't, especially in Melbourne and Sydney, that I didn't all them years ago. It was lovely. It was a really good tour. Sadly, I was sort of struck with a really bad chest infection, which I sort of sensed it was coming on as I left Wales. And after about 9 days, so after the Sydney game, a very lovely Australian couple drove just over 100 kilometres there and back to get me some antibiotics, which was unbelievably nice of them. So I managed to thoroughly enjoy New Zealand because I felt a hell of a lot better for the last 3 or 4 days. But no, Australia was everything I expected it to be. It was brilliant, really, really good, and we got to see. Got to watch Wrexham over 3 games in front of a combined crowd of about 105,000 people for friendlies, which was just insane.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, bonkers. To see Wrexham shirts in restaurants 2 or 3 days before and after the games, and I saw a couple in Wrexham shirts in a salsa nightclub at 2 o'clock in the morning by the bar, and I asked them at 2 o'clock in the morning, where did you get your Wrexham shirts? And they had no idea what they were wearing. They didn't have a clue. So it was bonkers. It was a fantastic experience. One where I was very grateful to be asked to go. I took my sister along because my wife couldn't come, and so we loved it. We had a really good experience. It was really, really good. It was a little bit full on. So the first, I've done 3 of these tours now. It sounds like I'm going to moan about them. I'm not. I'm just trying to explain. The first one was kind of just game days where I would go to like the mock-up turf and have a few beers and mingle, almost like I do at home. And then the second one on the west coast of America in LA and Vancouver was similar, but with a couple more like interviews chucked in. And then this one was sort of really full on. It was morning breakfast, meet and greets, game days, radio stations.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit full on, if I'm honest. I had a pint with Ben Foster on the last night, and he was kind of like, blimey, I've been watching you from afar, and they've really sort of pulled you ragged. But listen, we were invited. They paid us, which was nice, and I got to experience something that lots of people would love to have experienced. So chest infection aside, it was a wonderful summer.
Fantastic. And I mean, I guess that's the reach, isn't it? The global reach of that Wrexham documentary that's gone out, and is that the first? Didn't they? Did you? I think they went to America last year, didn't they? Did you go to that as well? And what's it feel like? I guess the question I'm going to ask is, what's it feel like when you go to this foreign country that's far flung the other side of the world, and it must just feel like home sometimes with all these Wrexham shirts everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, I've been lucky enough to go on all 3 tours now. It was funny because the American 2, which were equally, I think Australia ever so slightly beat them overall in attendances, only by about 700-800. There was over 100,000 in the both US tours for 3 games in them 2. We weren't. I only know that the club weren't sure what to expect in Australia because obviously there's a huge expat community over there, but the documentary was focused on North America, so they kind of knew what to expect in America. They weren't sure what to expect in Australia, and specifically New Zealand, because it's predominantly a rugby union nation.
Yeah.
So to see all 3 games well in excess of 30,000, I think they were really, really happy with the turnout.
That's amazing.
The merchandise was flying off the shelves. There was people genuinely. Most people I spoke to genuinely had an interest in the football team. They get up 3-4 o'clock in the morning to watch the games. They buy memberships. A lot of them plan on coming over, and have since. I spoke to 2 today, funny enough, that I had a picture with in Sydney that are coming over for the game on Tuesday against Reading. So yeah, just a wild experience. It's surreal. I don't have words to, but when I'm there, it's baffling to see like the amount of shirts you see, the amount of people stop you in the streets in Melbourne. You were getting stopped every 30 seconds for a picture. It's just insane. So that's the reach of the documentary, I guess. It'll never make sense to me. When I'm an old man, 80, sitting somewhere in the world, I'll just laugh at it because it never really makes sense to me. But people watch a program, and people, if I make 80, that is, people watch a program, and and it's a really well put together show, isn't it? So people watch a program and fall in love with it. So yeah, it's bonkers.
No, definitely.
Did they have you pulling pints out their way by any chance?
They had me doing all sorts. Honestly, Morgan, you wouldn't believe. They didn't have any Wrexham on draft. It was all cans, £7 a can as well. The robbing bastards.
Wow.
Yeah. So but they had me doing stuff for Wrexham Lager, which I'm more than happy to do because until Rob and Ryan bought that recently, that was a Wrexham family that bought that from back from the ashes. So yeah, they had me doing all sorts, mate. It was a really, really exciting thing. It was. I mean, I didn't particularly love the morning because it was live breakfast show. It was live TV, and I'm always worried about live interviews because although I'm sort of used to it to a certain extent now, I'm always worried that I'll put my foot in it and say something that I shouldn't. And it's different when the documentary or you guys, because you can almost edit it to a certain extent. But when it's live, I'm always worried that I'm going to offend somebody or say something wrong. And so I didn't particularly enjoy that bit, but the rest of it was great fun.
Good. Excellent. Moving on, Morgan.
So, I mean, you've been. So, how long have you been back in sort of Wrexham and around the club? I mean, talking back when you over. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but you said you sort of went away travelling and then you came back to Wrexham and to the turf, and that's where you sort of stayed. So you must, and we. This is a good little plug for our for our Beyond the Barkley episode, but we interviewed Stuart Webber over the summer and about his time at Norwich and about his mostly successful time at Norwich. It was amazing to have to chat to the guy who brought so many good memories to me and Jez. But obviously he was talking about where he started out, and he started out at Wrexham, and I genuinely completely forgot. So did you know Stuart at his time at Wrexham, and sort of what foundations did he lay down? Was there anything, or is there anything particularly funny that you can remember about Stuart, or not really?
No, I'll be honest. I mean, I can't struggle to remember what year he represented us. How old would he be now, roughly?
Stuart's about 41, I think. So
if he started out at Wrexham, which would have been probably in his late teens, early 20s, so that would have been around 2004-05. That's when I would have been in Australia, New Zealand. So although I remember him representing Wrexham, when you say Stuart Webber, I'm acutely aware that he did. He was around these parts. But sadly, no, I don't. Mind you, we've had that many players in the last 20 years. Some of them you actively try to forget. But no, I can't. Some of my friends that stayed around these parts most of their lives will probably be able to tell you better stories about him. But no, I don't. I mean, I'm fully aware he's gone on to have a very good career. But no, I don't. I think it must have been when I was away out the country for 3 or 4 years. It must have been when I was away.
Yeah, he was telling us about that's where he saw. Was it? Did Jez? We say he was groundsman, or he had
I think I think he said that was one of the jobs he did amongst a lot of other things as well, and that's sort of where he really sort of cut his teeth in that role of sporting director. Excuse me, the origins of that, I guess. So no, I think it was. I mean, he only spoke highly of his time there. Wayne, to be fair, he said he absolutely loved it.
Well, that's comforting to hear, because obviously all them years ago, it was a shadow of the club that it is today. I'm not saying it was by any means. I'm saying it was unprofessional, but it's ultra professional now. So anybody that would have worked for the club back in them days would have been doing and so under tougher conditions, tighter purse strings, everything would have been bargain basement almost. So kudos to him. But no, I'm glad he's gone on to do well for himself.
Yeah, I mean, he talked highly of his time at Wrexham, and sort of he said that that's where he'd sort of learned how to learn how to sort of apply a trade and do it, I suppose, in the right way. Making sure the grass was properly maintained, and it's what he said to us on the pod about. He made a point of that when he turned up at Norwich City at Carrow Road, making the turf play for Daniel Farke's football at that time, which again is you don't think about that kind of thing when you're a punter, essentially.
No.
But yeah, he said it. He put it in good stead, and it helped him sort of with his career after that, because me and Jez have been to we've been to Colney training centre, as it's known now. I never went when it was before Stuart's time. Stuart, like I know him, like he's my best friend, Stuart Webber's time. But we went, and although we haven't been around it fully yet, I was like, because that's what he put in place. Like he's gone from Wrexham when you guys were out in the National League to helping Norwich develop this amazing national training centre that's only getting better and better. So I mean, I think that's got to be testament to your club, right? It's got to think that's he's come from that to produce something like that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, listen, he clearly has gone on to do well for himself. It's nice to think that we as a club, I don't mean me, I mean we as a club have played a little part in his career. We're obviously a stepping stone. Listen, I'm weirdly. You mentioned that you don't really think about it as a punter. I'm weirdly like a bit of a pitch nerd. I have to. I know Charles, so our groundsman Charlie, on the documentary, who's Charlie's he's like the quietest guy in the world. Very, very good at what he does. And we've just spent heavily this summer on a state of the art pitch. And I went in yesterday. Very quickly, we had Chris Moyles do the breakfast show from the pub, and they took him onto the pitch yesterday, and I went in with him. And Chris Moyles is a big Leeds fan, as you know, and he just went, wow, like that is just like, if you can't play football on that, you want to hang your boots up. It's like a pristine carpet. So I've always had like a bit of a fascination with how the pitch looks, and to our credit, we've always had a good pitch with limited funds, but. Listen, if he's gone on to achieve what he's achieved, and we've played even a small part of that, I'm glad he remembers Wrexham fondly. Like I say, too many people are quite quick to bash us about anything, but I'm glad he's enjoyed his time fondly. Yeah. And how long has he been at Norwich?
Well, he left 2 or 3 years ago, but he's he's, the work he did was absolutely phenomenal, really, from where we were to where we are now. So, we're always very thankful of what he did for us. Moving on. So, how do you feel about the season so far? And obviously, how are Rob and Ryan think? Are they feeling confident?
Listen, it's a really funny one. What I would say is, like I said to you in the summer, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. That remains the same. That will remain the same as we kick the last ball in this league this season. So, what I would say is, QPR on Saturday was the first game that I've come out of where I thought we thoroughly deserved to lose. I thought the other 4 games we were more than in them. Southampton on the opening day, we were 6 minutes away from winning, and in all fairness, I'll be brutally honest, we didn't deserve to win, but we didn't deserve to lose either. I think a draw would have been more than fair. And we would have been up and running. It wasn't meant to be. And then we played West Bromwich Albion the following week, and we lost 3-2. And I promise you, at 1-1, we were absolutely battering them. I mean, it was one-way traffic. They were all over the ship. If we'd have scored, and it's all ifs and buts. I feel that's the best way to describe this season so far, ifs and buts. And then, I mean, the biggest disappointment probably would have been 2-0 up at home to Sheffield Wednesday. It was the most one-sided game of football I've ever seen in my life. At halftime, we were all having a pint and we were going, this could be 6 or 7. It was that comfortable. So to throw that lead away was, and they probably should have gone and won it in the last minute, was disappointing. And then people were kind of going, oh, blimey, this is like, it's almost like a reoccurring phase. We should have beat Southampton. We certainly should have got something out of West Brom. And then we threw it away against Wednesday. We went to Millwall kind of thinking, well, this is going to be, nobody wants to go to Millwall when you're up against it. We weren't great, but we done enough to get the win. So I thought, going into QPR, I kind of thought, well, even coming out of QPR, 15 points up for grabs, 4 points, I genuinely think that we've left. Now, listen, we have, so we've got to get on with it. But I genuinely think we've left 3 or 4 points out there. I honestly think we could comfortably be sat on 7, 8 points, if not 9. But we're not, and that's the reality. We need to adapt to this league very quickly. What I would say though is, the team against QPR only had 3 of the 11 players we've signed. 8 haven't played for us yet. We've got 6 haven't played for us. Windass has been out. He's back this week, thankfully. But I can almost guarantee that 4 games from now, 3 or 4 games from now, it will look. The 11 that started against QPR, I would be amazed if 3 or 4 remain in it. That's how many players we haven't got into our team yet. And I think the true assessment would be the 10-12 game mark once they've had a good run together. I think the team against Norwich on Saturday will see several changes to the team against QPR. But overall, listen, ultimately, I think the word is probably slightly disappointed point-wise. What I would say about Parky is usually, and I accept that the jump in classes a lot, but from the National League, League 2 and League 1 days, we've prided ourselves on keeping the back door shut. My only slight worry is that we've shipped 10 goals in 5 games, which is not like us. Now, that obviously is 2 factors. One, that the strikers are a lot better, but 2, 4 or 5 of them goals that I've analysed, even in this league, we should be keeping out. We should be stopping them goals. We should be hard to beat. I would expect us to go to Norwich and probably put 2 banks of 5 in there and just try and get out of there with a point if we can. And we would take that. It's a 500-mile round journey, but it's worth it if we get a point. But overall, disappointed slightly with the 4 points because I think we've left a few out there. But we'll learn from that. And I maintain I don't think we'll be threatened with the relegation, if I'm honest.
No, I don't think we will. Sorry, go on, Morgan.
I was going to say, like, over the summer, when we last spoke, I said about, your momentum. But I think, I think this is a case of, this isn't a pun on welcome to Wrexham, by the way. Welcome to the Championship, because that is exactly what it's like. And and I was like, well, we'll see how you fare, how you get on the first kind of opening few games. But me and Jez, we've been there many times, haven't we, mate? Like last season, second half of last season for us, any pressure on us, we fell apart like wet toilet tissue. And we would concede, and I was like, we're conceding so many, but still scoring, but might as well have left the back door wide open. But it's the Championship, Wayne.
I think as well as that, Morgan, is the fact that it's very similar to Norwich in this sense, is the fact that there's so many new players, and Wayne mentioned it, that are bedding in, and that takes time in any league. And I think particularly in a club that has just been promoted as well from the League One, that it does take that time to adapt. And we're the same. We went to Coventry on Saturday.
I was keeping my eye on your score, I just clicked onto me live scores app, and at 94, I kind of thought that's a great result for Norwich. And then I seen it the next day. I didn't even check it again. I just presumed it was over. Because I was kind of thinking, how do we go there? We go in there with them in terrific form.
Yeah,
you start looking at the team you're playing, thinking, the first thing I do if we're playing Derby next week, I'm like, shit, they just beat Stoke. Sorry, West Brom. They just drew with Ipswich, and I'm kind of already thinking about like a week on Saturday. And Saturday hasn't even arrived yet. But yeah, it's a ruthless league, isn't it, lads?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, I think perhaps we'll sort of do some predictions at the end of the chat. So I don't know if you just wanted to move on to the next one, please, Morgan.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about Wrexham's pre-season preparations? Any sort of standout or funny moments?
Yeah, well, the preparations, if I'm being brutally honest, I think were. Listen, these tours are great. We all know why we go on them, because it's a marketing push and whatnot, and to grow the brand of the club. But if you're asking me as a football fan, I think we were severely undercooked going into the Southampton game. You might be able to tell me better, but I actually think professional, top of the range championship football clubs, and even teams in the lower pyramids, have usually 7 or 8 pre-season games before they kick off in the first game. We had 3 in Australia, 1 in Holland, and 1 behind closed doors. And if I'm being brutally honest, the 3 in Australia were borderline embarrassing from a football perspective. They were bringing 15 subs on the half-time mark. There was no continuity. So I think we went into it very, very, very undercooked. Talked to a guy this morning in the shop, and I said, you know what? Weirdly, I felt that QPR felt like our first game of the season. That's how it felt like it should have been. I felt like we should have played them 3 or 4 games that we had in the league, but they should have been competitive friendlies during the summer. So from a football point of view, I think it was slightly undercooked. Listen, there's so many funny stories from Australia and New Zealand. I tried to practice the haka and failed miserably. One, I haven't got the arms. These things are just not going to do the haka. And then just incredibly embarrassed myself in front of hundreds of people on the street in Wellington and camera crews everywhere. And I've sleepless nights at the thought that footage is going to come out and fucking shot me under the bus, because I'm just look like an absolute moron from Wales trying to achieve the haka. But no, it was a lovely, lovely tour, but that's all well and good. That's over now. All I care about now is, which is all I've ever really cared about, is the football. And
of course,
yeah, I think we went into it. I think if truth be told, and I'm obviously purely speculating, I genuinely don't know, but I think if truth be told, I think Phil would have been a little bit upset at the way it was sort of handled, because we needed more minutes. We needed a minimum of another 2 games competitive to get all these players bedded in, but we didn't, and we're now doing that at the start of this season, and we're not giving a true reflection of ourselves because we haven't had the minutes on the pitch. But that will come. Like I say, I'm fairly confident. Listen, we've got a really tough run now. Norwich is going to be incredibly difficult. Then we play Birmingham, we play Stoke, Leicester. We've got and we got Derby at home next week, and I'm already thinking to myself, it almost feels like a must win. But that is also going to be very tough because they're having a good run. But yeah, listen, we were undercooked going into the season. We're learning on the job, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think as well as that is, you mentioned about the new pitch earlier, and if you've only played 1 game at home, and then it makes a difference, right? Obviously, if you were playing on a different sort of pitch last year, and then the players are expected to get up to speed on this new pitch very quickly, they can't.
Yeah, there is that as well. What I would say, just touching on, just going slightly off topic without being too negative about the manager, but Wrexham's biggest threat, because we play with the 5 at the back, so we play with 2 flying up fullbacks, and he never ever goes away from 5-3-2. I think once in the 4 years I've been watching Phil Parkinson football, it's winning football, it's effective football 9 times out of 10, but it's boring football. And what I would say from a Norwich point of view is, well, any team really that play Wrexham, and QPR sussed it out straight away, is if you stop our fullbacks and turn them round and run at them, if you stop Wrexham's two fullbacks, you pretty much stop Wrexham, because we're about get down the flanks, get the ball into the box, find Kiefer Moore or whoever may be there. And that's how we play. Failing that, we lump it forward to Kiefer Moore and try to pick up the scraps, which we never seem to do. But and I think on Saturday people were getting really frustrated because we've signed a left back from Italy, Kakache, who's out for 6 weeks now, sadly, and we signed Kabore on loan from Man City, who's supposed to be the bee's knees. Neither of them played. We signed Sheaf from Coventry for £6.5 million. He didn't start. He went with Matty James. Broadhead for £7.5 million. He didn't start. So people in the pub beforehand were going, what on earth is he doing? He's got all these players and he's not playing them. So they were getting frustrated with his tactics because they're really easy to play against. And two, they go, for the love of fucking Christ, get these players on the pitch. Give them the games that they need to be able to improve and to be able to get used to the pitch, to get used to the new grass, to get used to each other. And results might improve. So people were frustrated with him. But listen, how do you argue against a manager that he always does this, no matter who he brings in all of the leagues he's been in, he always does the same. He brings these players in and he refuses to chuck them straight in. He gives them several training sessions. And I think Norwich will be the first time that we'll see a truer reflection of our future starting 11.
Yeah, I think so. And obviously you got Callum Doyle as well, didn't you, in the summer?
Yeah, looks a real prospect. Yeah, I mean, absolute beast of a player. I mean, the guy's huge. But yeah, he's played 2 consecutive games now, and he's settling down. But you know, football lads, it takes probably till Christmas before they know where they're running, where they're going, how to read each other, things like that. Sadly, though, we just won't have until Christmas for them to bed in and get results. We need them now.
Yeah, we've got. I mean, I think Jez, what Wayne was just saying is kind of echoed in what our fans think of Liam Manning's kind of football so far. So we've played 5 at the back as well, and like literally what you said is quite negative. But then at the same time, I think we've also had to adapt from a front foot attacking team that we had last season, which was just letting goals in left, right, and centre. So I think what Jez has said on a previous podcast, which will probably go out in a few weeks, is that we're trying to tighten up at the back and then allow that sort of like creativity and forward play to develop organically. But as you say, fans get frustrated because we've been treated to some great football in the past however many years. So we just want to get it up there and you know, and score. But unfortunately, that's not how it goes.
No.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I mean, listen, it's horses for courses. I mean, not to make it all about Wrexham, but just talking from Wrexham's perspective, I mean, we spent silly money. And as an old school Wrexham fan where we're used to, I'm used to selling raffle tickets just to keep the electric on, for crying out loud. To spend 26, 28, 30 million pounds, whatever it might be, is great, but it's also a noose around your neck if it doesn't go well. And if he doesn't quite get the results that the fans and the board desire, then the easy brick to chuck at him is, you've been given every tool, you've been given all this money, you've been given probably, I would say, a top 8 budget in this league. And I don't know the league that well, but I would imagine it's going to be up there, without a doubt. So, I mean, listen, football's fickle, isn't it? You know, if you have 3 promotions in a row, but if you lose 5 games in a row, then people are going to start questioning it, saying, you had all this money, you need to start getting results. But it's funny how football managers approach it, isn't it? Yeah, I think similar to like what you were just saying then, Morgan, you've had exciting football and you've gone slightly more sort of, I don't know if it's Route 1 or it's a bit more boring, but we've had the Route 1 boring football. And I think maybe 1 in 20 fans is kind of going, you know what? We're a championship club now. We've got championship money. We ought to be playing football a little bit more attack-minded, a little bit more sort of expansive. The downside to that is, do you become the next Sheffield United if you try and sign some up and come in?
Yeah, they've gone back, haven't they?
Is the grass always greener? I don't think so.
No, I agree. And I think, obviously, because you touched on that transfer business, there was a question that we were going to ask later on, which I'm going to bring forward. So you've already given your opinion on it, but could you have ever imagined back in those days of the National League, the club ever spending that amount of money?
No, and I still can't believe it. It's up there with Ryan and Rob taking over the club. It's just bonkers. I mean, when we signed, let me forget now. When we signed Sam Smith last season for about 1.8 million, I was absolutely flabbergasted. I just couldn't believe we'd spent that money. And then in the summer, I was aware we would probably break that, but to go and sign Broadhead and Sheaf for £13 million is. I mean, I genuinely don't know enough about them. I know Nathan because he plays for Wales, but I don't know him. I know of him, but time will tell whether it's shrewd business. What I would say is Sheaf come on at the weekend for 20 minutes and looked like a Rolls Royce player, looked like a championship player, and that's no disrespect to Matty James. He just looked calmer, which is another example of we need these players to bed in. But no, answer to your question, Jez, absolutely not. I mean, I still worry that it's all going to go tits up and we're going to have to start paying this money back somehow because I can't get from the old Wrexham in me. But no, can't believe it. I mean, the talk around the pub was like, surely we're not in for a player for £7 million, but they're clearly making the money and they're obviously spending it.
No, fair play. I think, you touched on Sheaf there. I spoke to a Coventry fan last week and he was gutted that he'd left. I think he was really disappointed because he is a really good experienced championship player. So I thought that was a really shrewd signing.
Yeah, no, I agree. He looks good.
Definitely.
But, I mean, you've got the thing of it is, it's like any sort of situation of you get promoted via the automatics to any league. You've unless you're very, very, very lucky, you have to spend some kind of money in order to make a slight fist of things. I mean, if we ever find ourselves back in that position of to getting promoted to the Premier League, Jez, I don't even want to imagine what it is that we'll have to do. I mean, our situation compared to yours, Wayne, is vastly different because you've spent, and I don't mean this as disrespectfully, but you've spent however many years out of the national leagues. Our lowest is what, League One, when we went down to League One.
Well, yeah, in recent years, yeah.
And so we've sort of always bobbed around between the Championship and the Premier League, but now the Premier League is like next level. So I think any sort of any fan that goes up via the autos or even the playoffs, there has to be some kind of spend, and there has to be some other football fans. It's like, well, you'd want the same for your team, right? You'd want your club to be able to compete in the next league up without just because me and Jez have seen it many times. Like we've either not spent or we've spent badly and we've stank the place out, and it's embarrassing. You know what I'm going to say? It's embarrassing, it's demoralizing, and it sucks. So I think, although you probably don't expect it, you've had to do it. Would that be fair to say?
No, absolutely, I agree. I mean, there was a conversation on Red Passion, which is our fans forum, at the end of the season, saying we need a massive overhaul, and I was a little bit skeptical of it, if I'm honest. I honestly thought, when I had a conversation with a few of the fans on the last day of the season, I honestly thought that maybe 4 or 5 go Atletico. I actually thought that maybe 4 or 5 would be enough, but then when you break it down, I actually think if we'd have gone into this season with League One squad, then we'd have probably severely struggled. Some people will say, well, you're not really doing much better now, but we're only 5 games in. I think if you go a 46 game season with the players we had from last year, with the greatest of respect to them, we would probably have been down by January, end of January. We needed to make massive overhauls. We have done. We're in that phase now where we just need to. I remember speaking to Sean Harvey just quickly about 2 years ago, and because he's very, very astute, and he sort of so 2 things. 1, I don't think the club expected to be in the Championship this quick, and 2, Sean Harvey once said to me that there's going to come a time where to get these players, your Mullins, your Palmers, your Elliott Lees, to come down to League 2, for example, our National League, there's going to be a time where we might have a year where we have an overlap where to get these players to come, you're going to put them on 3-year contracts. If we're very successful and push up the leagues like we have done, which don't think we were expecting. We're going to have a huge overhaul in the Championship, and there's going to be players on. So we've had to loan Mullin out. We've had to terminate Ollie Palmer's contract, which probably wouldn't have come cheap. We've got probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 players out on loan just to get the wages off the bill, because we knew there was going to come a time that if we're successful, that overlap would have happened. So yeah, I mean, obviously we clearly needed an overhaul. To see some of the players we're signing now, some Championship clubs might turn their nose up at them, but as a Wrexham fan of old, to see some of these players coming in that when we signed a lad from Empoli in Italy, that is just mental. As a Wrexham fan, I mean, we used to sign players from like TNS and Kidderminster, and I mean, the world's just gone insane. So yeah, no, I agree. I mean, we needed to do it. We've done it now. I'm hoping now that if we can stay up, chaps, that we should be in a healthier position going forward, because we'll have the nucleus of a Championship squad as opposed to the nucleus of a League 2, League 1 squad. I mean, we've still got a player playing for us that's come all the way from the National League. So as time evolves, we will hopefully become a more established Championship team, and we'll add quality where and when.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I want to throw that over to Jez quickly, just as a comparison to Luton, because I know that you're a bit of a, you always bring up Luton as your second team, but if you want to sort of expand on what Wayne said about that bridge too far almost.
Well, it was. We discussed it in the summer, didn't we? I think Luton going and promoted to the Premier League when they did it was far too soon. They didn't have the funds to do what they needed to do to stay up, and they used the funds for the new stadium, which is going to be hopefully with us in the next 3 or 4 years. It's interesting you mentioned Kabore from Man City, because he was on loan at Luton during that Premier League season.
Yeah, he's very highly thought of, I believe, was he?
Looked good, looked really good, so that's why they then had the successive relegations, because they not went for broke essentially, but because they had to do what they did to try and stay up in the Premier League. It didn't work, and then when they came down, they had that losing mentality, and then they went down again. So I think they're stabilised now. But yeah, I think it's I think you can draw comparisons, but it's other than sort of Kabore, I think that's probably the only one I can really.
Yeah, listen, I think the powers to be at Wrexham are so terrified of going backwards, and rightfully so. Nobody wants to go backwards in any walk of life, but I think they're so scared of losing all the momentum, the feel-good factor, and whatnot. Obviously, if it happens, we will. Everybody will have to adjust, and we'll have to go back to League 1, and we will have to reset the tables. But I think it's vital, every single point, and I know it's a cliche, but every single point that we get in this division now almost feels like a golden ticket to us. We just need to accumulate it. And I don't want to like over hype it and say, we're really poor and all this. We're not. When we settle, we'll be a good side. And I genuinely don't think we will be near the relegation point.
No, I don't.
But until we got them points, I mean, Cardiff went down on 50 points last year. It's a lot of points. So to accumulate. I think what I'm trying to say is we needed that first win, that monkey off our back. We got that at Millwall. I was really hoping that we would kick on at QPR. Sadly, it wasn't meant to be. But that might be I'm hoping that'll be the kick up the backside we need. We very rarely, jinxing us here probably, but we very rarely lose 2 on the bounce. I'm hoping that we can go down to Norwich and get anything. Norwich won't be happy with just drawing with Wrexham at home, I can tell you that. You can tell me that better than anybody. But if we can go down there and just get a point, it'd be a long, enjoyable drive back to North Wales if we can come from Norwich with a point.
No, I agree. Morgan, moving on to the local events for the summer.
Yeah. So, I mean, going back to Stuart Webber as a context point, he did say that he was really happy with obviously how everything has been going on at Wrexham and how that's affected the community. So, have there been any particular events you've been involved in with a local community? I guess not just recently, but over the summer, and any sort of shout outs you want to give out to?
Oh God, I hate questions like this because I always get put on the spot, and then when I'm done later on tonight and lying in bed, I'll think, damn, I forgot such and such. Do you know what? Boring answer again. Sorry, Morgan, but no. I mean, we've been so busy. I mean, we have the fan zone at the bottom of the car park, basically just a stretch down with a bar, and it's been hired out all summer. So even though the football's been off, we've still been crazy busy. we've done quite a few charity events, which I love doing. I love raising money where we can. We had one last week for British Heart Foundation. We raised 5-6 grand. Little things like that I just love to get involved in. It's something a little bit different for me. It's not the cooking on the food van or the everyday conversations you have with the people in the pub, or dare I say even the football. I like to get my teeth into something where we can do something where we give something back, and whatnot. So no, just I'm fairly sure that the COP stand is about to start in the coming weeks, so that's quite exciting in these parts. That's going to be, I think everybody's really keen for that now, because obviously we've dropped 3,500 tickets with the temporary stand gone, and it's becoming real difficult to get a ticket. There's about 6,500 season tickets out of 10,500, and the other 3,500, the club in their wisdom have decided to put it to a ballot as opposed to first come first serve. So the atmosphere is really lacking, because with the greatest of respect to these 3,500-4,000 people that are coming, they're probably coming for the first time. A lot of them, they don't know the songs, they don't know the culture, they don't really get involved with the camaraderie and all the rest of it. But no, I mean, it's just time for me, time for most people just goes really fast, I guess. But time for me just seems to, it's 2 months now since I've been back from Australia, and it's just gone in an eye blink. And before you know it, it'll be Christmas, and before you know it, it'll be Christmas, and then hopefully we're sitting on 45 points and I can relax a little bit and enjoy the last 3 months of the season. But before you know it, it'll be Christmas, and then before you know it, we'll be where we end up, and we'll have to address it all again in the summer. But yeah, nothing exciting. Same old, sadly.
Would you would you be up for getting more involved in any sort of community wise? Because I imagine you are anyway. You are pretty much the heart, right? And you must have seen that kind of like grow and grow and grow. And I think it's just a very exciting thing to talk about. Is there any plans that you might have?
Yeah, well, I've had a meeting this week, several meetings this week with a chap locally that is desperate to improve the town centre. So obviously we're right outside the stadium. We're about half a mile, 0.6 of a mile from the city centre. He's really keen for me to help him via our website and via like a different setup, so like a different newsletter type thing, help get as many tourists as we can down to the centre to help improve local businesses in the area, which I'm obviously more than keen to do. I don't just want to hoard all these people into the turf. I mean, they're going to come anyway, so and we do, and we try and push them to restaurants and bars and shops and whatnot. So that's something I'm going to get myself involved in over the next God knows how many weeks it's going to take, but we really want to sort of push the message out to people, anybody that's coming to Wrexham, that it isn't just about the stadium, it isn't just about the turf. There is a lot more to it. There's a lot more going on.
100%.
And obviously, I've got very limited time, but anytime I do have, I will help. I've just been this afternoon approached to sponsor a mental health awareness cause, which we're happy to do. It's a couple £100, but it puts food on the table for people that are struggling, and they can go and get some free food, and they can have a chat with a guy there that is very good on these matters, and anybody that might be struggling. So we're always trying to help. We're always trying to get involved. I'm just very time limited, but anything to do with the community, I'm all for. I probably do. With the risk of sounding arrogant, I probably do a hell of a lot more than I give myself credit for. I probably get 10 emails a week to help, and I always end up saying yes to probably most of them. So, I'm a big advocate to try and help what I can.
Brilliant.
No,
I think just no, 100%. I think just moving on to the final question, because we've covered the other two. Just before I hand over to Morgan's random question of the week, you've already had one of them, but you're having another one.
I've missed the song.
Yeah,
I have.
Yeah. He started adding little props in and stuff as well the last few times.
Okay.
Goodness knows what he's going to do this time. So yeah, finally, what's the buzz like in Wrexham itself in preparation for the season ahead?
Yeah, it's still there, mate. Yeah, I mean, like I said a minute ago, people are a little bit subdued with the points tally, and there's been one or two. I'd be lying if I didn't say that there's been one or two murmurs about the manager. I think that's still very, very low key. I think that's, I'm talking probably, a couple of percent. If I'm being honest, I don't want to speak for everybody. I'll put words in people's mouths, but I mean, my dad, for example, is very grateful for Phil, but can't wait for the day he leaves because he's fed up with the football. But I think overall, I'll speak for myself because I can't get myself into trouble. Overall, I'm incredibly excited. I was frustrated against QPR, but I'm a football fan. Of course, I was frustrated. We were playing poorly and we were getting tactically found out, and nobody cottoned onto it quick enough. And when we did cotton onto it, the goalkeeper made a mistake. So I was frustrated. But no, listen, I've got a really lovely day with my wife on Saturday. I'm excited to go to a lovely new stadium. It's still not lost on me that we're playing Championship football. I'm grateful for every second of it, as are pretty much every Wrexham fan out there. We're buzzing, you know. It's a long journey on Saturday, and we'll still bring a tidy following, I think. And I think overall, the people I speak to, and I speak to people every single day about Wrexham Football Club, dozens of them, the feedback I get from people is, we'll be fine when we calm down. We're not worried. We're enjoying it. You know, we're going to brand new stadiums. We're playing against some massive clubs. And we need to really sort of just remember where we've come from, and enjoy every minute. And I know they are, and I know we will. And results are going to go against us. That's life. But like I say, so long as we're above that line, come May 1st, we'll all be happy.
Excellent.
I think that's how I'm feeling right now, Jez. No, I mean, like, I think you're right. Like, I admire your positivity about how your fan base, staying grounded. I think with Norwich, we've always had that a little bit of element to us that where we've had flirtations with the Premier League, it has kind of it's raised expectations. So, you know, I think this weekend will be an interesting game, to say the least.
Yeah,
I think there's quite a bit of expectation on Norwich at home.
Well, we haven't won at home yet.
No, we haven't won at home yet. So if you didn't realise that.
No, just touching on what you said there, Morgan. This is a little bit of a concern of mine because, in fact, my uncle, my dad's brother, is a fan of Parky, unlike my dad. But my uncle is genuinely not bothered about getting to the Premier League. You know, and I sit with this guy every home game, and he says not bothered, and I say, well, why are you here? Like, what if we win the next 40 games? He was like, well, clearly I'll go and watch you if we get to the Premier League, but I'm not bothered. I don't like the product. I don't like what it stands for. It's basically like, let's look after the top six type thing. And he said, and the other thing, Wayne, he said, is when you get to the top, you know, for a club like Wrexham, it's going to be incredibly difficult just to even stay in that division. He said, so when you get to the top, really, do you carry on going further up, or there's only one way for us? It's back down. He said, so, you know, and then you get a season of, you know, people not being happy and all the rest of it. So it's a funny one, isn't it? I suppose when you, for a club, I mean, Norwich are a much bigger club than Wrexham, and you know they've come back down. And you look at West Brom, you look at Wolves, you look at Stoke. The list is endless about these teams that go up there, flirt with it for a few years. Luton, I mean, that's a perfect example. Gone up, got the money. Blackpool, I mean, the list is endless. They go up. Yeah. They have a year or two. Okay, people that run the clubs will probably tell you that the money they gain from that run or that year or two in the Premier League has probably set them up infrastructurally wise for years ahead. But I don't know. Sometimes we lose track of just being a football fan and enjoying it. And do I really want to get walloped in the Premiership every week? No. But I would quite happily go to my grave knowing that we've played on the top table. We just get to one season in it. I can always say we played in the Premier League. We've almost we've achieved it. But if you speak to a lot of my family and friends that I sit with, they'd quite happily just be in a decent Championship team every year. They say it's a much better division.
Yeah, certainly more competitive, I'd say. But okay, so just before I hand you over to Morgan, prediction for Saturday, and any shout outs you want to give to anyone that's watching.
Predictions. Listen, it's really tough. I don't want to come across as arrogant. It's really, really tough, and I genuinely mean that. When I say it's going to be tough, I don't just say it flippantly. I mean it. We're going to Norwich City. It's a historic football team with a sellout crowd of across 30,000. I imagine, is it something like that? So
nearly.
It's going to be. You know, we're probably going to maybe bring 1,500, but we're going to be a tiny side of the ground. We're on a tiny bit of a bad run. It's going to be very, very difficult. I know you say you haven't won at home, but you're expected to win at home this weekend. With all that said, I never have and never will back against this manager. And I would say these players, but the new players, but I would never back against this manager. I'm going to go 1-1, and if we get a 1-1, I'll be elated. I'll be chuffed. I'll be the happiest man in Wales driving back to Wales.
Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say, really.
You can say 2-0 Wrexham if you want, Morgan. I don't mind.
I've got a reputation to uphold, even if this is a Beyond episode. I'd probably say, if I'm honest, 1-1. And I know it sounds weird thing to say, but I'd be happy with that, because at least it's a foundation for us to build on for the next home games. Because I just know how sometimes our fan base can get a little bit on our players' backs.
We have the same fan base.
Yeah. I think
Come on, Morgan, hit us with a 5-0 Norwich.
I don't know if it'll be that bad. I think it'll be 3-1. I think you'll score.
We scored in every game this season, just so you know.
Yeah. I think you'll score. I think it'll be 3-1. Sargent will get a couple, and they'll go on about the fact that he's American and this against a American-owned team and all that. But I think
he's a worry for me, but he's a worry for every team, isn't he? You know, I was kind of hoping that he would have gone in the summer, if I'm honest.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I think. Yeah, but no,
we'd be sitting bottom 3 if that would have been the case.
Definitely. Well, very similar to us. We'd probably be bottom if it wasn't with Kiefer Moore. He is a threat, by the way, just so you... I mean, you're obviously fully aware of him, but he's playing out of his skin. He's playing absolutely out of his skin. I mean, he's got, I think, 4, if I remember right, and he could have had 8. Yeah. He's had them off the line. He's at the bar. He's at the post. He's playing... but if anybody's tactics are going to suit Kiefer Moore, it's Phil Parkinson's.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, anyone you want to give a little shout out to?
No, just anybody that we bump into on the day, you know, come and say hello, let's have a beer. Well, I can't have too many beers because I'm driving, but lovely to chat to as many Norwich fans as I can bump into, and obviously looking forward to seeing all the Wrexham fans down there. They're a really good bunch, you know, really friendly bunch, like most football fans. You'll get on really well. So if anybody listens to this beforehand that maybe runs a bar or a restaurant, don't worry about letting any of them in, because they genuinely are an incredibly friendly bunch. And the ones that are going that far genuinely going there to watch the football, right? They're not going there to do anything other than to watch the game. So just really looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you guys down there. We'll
likewise
we'll catch up and have a pint, and may the best team win.
Indeed. All right. I think that's nice time to pass over to Mr. Hewitt.
Did you have the chair spin before, Wayne?
I did get I got the full experience, mate. Yeah.
Okay, you'll get it again then.
Oh, there we go.
You've missed it, haven't you?
Yes, mate, 100%.
Random question of the week. So, Wayne, as we know, thank you. We know that you sort of partake in a bit of documentary style filmmaking and stuff. If they could do a splinter called The Wayne Jones Experience, what would be the experience and why? And it can be any it could be any sort of style of documentary.
Oh my God!
What would you be doing?
Well, it would have to be. It'd have to be 2 things. It'd have to be something around the football, and it'd have to be something around the pub, because that's pretty much all I do. Oh God, I don't know. Maybe like a Welcome to Wrexham after hours, where people are swinging off the pool table lights, chanting stupid football songs. Probably be really and incredibly inappropriate, and I'd probably be shut down and taken off screen after 30 minutes. But we joke about this regularly. You know, we often say, like, so somebody will make a joke by the bar, and somebody will say, "It's a fucking good job they didn't get that in the documentary, for crying out loud." Like, we would be shot. But yeah, no, something along the lines of maybe like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's pub related but sport related. And I mean, I suppose if it was about me, then I'd have to be in it. But
you'd be the main star.
If you could, pardon?
You'd be the main star.
Well, if you could leave me out, that'd be great. I mean, I'd quite happily stay out of it. But yeah, I don't really know. I hate questions where I get put on the spot, and I'm not like, I could talk football all day long. I can talk beer all day long. When you put me on the spot about documentaries, because it's so far out of my comfort zone, just for clarity. Even now, I did a bit yesterday for Series 5, and I was still like, and they're like, "You've done great," and I'm like, "My God, I dread to think." So I spoke to the guy that runs the show, and he said in the summer, for a 30-minute episode, it takes around 1,000 hours of filming.
Oh wow.
To get that footage. So I dread to think that there's probably, for every series, well, there's 18 episodes in the first series, so there's probably about 5,500 hours of my footage sitting on the floor in LA somewhere where they're going, nope, we're not using that crap. So yeah, Splinter series would be funny. I'm sure there'd be
the Wayne Jones experience of you just going fishing, just you going fishing.
Yeah, no, my experience of going fishing is just going to the fishmongers in Sainsbury's. I'm not one for sitting around the pond with a rod. Yeah, that's not for me. I don't understand fishermen. Why would you sit around all day when you can just buy it in the supermarket? People will scream at this going, "That's the fun, you're getting relaxed." No, let me go play golf. I don't need to fish.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, what about you? What would your documentary be called? Oh, they've already made it. It's called The Office, isn't it? And David Brent stars you.
Mockumentary, I guess. Yeah, I'd really like one on snooker. I'd really like to go to the Crucible and do a sort of a behind the scene. I mean, they have done loads, haven't they? But I'd want to go and play a match against one of the pros and sort of document that experience. And yeah, so that would be me. Just a little bit of a snooker themed one.
Just walking around backstage.
Yeah, basically, yeah, just walking around the back of the Crucible, speaking to Mark Williams, and yeah, it'd be amazing. What about you, Morgan?
Probably at this current moment in time. Well, my slight obsession with, well, you can't read it because it's backwards. It says the War of the Roses.
So I'd
be walking around trying out different suits of armor, full suits of armor, based around the wars of the 15th century.
Bit reenactments.
Yeah, definitely a bit of reenactment for sure.
Nice.
They have to learn how to do it though.
In New Zealand on the tour, I got invited to go to a Weta workshop, which is where they make every single costume, every single artifact for the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. Wow. So it was a Peter Jackson shop, and they dressed me up in full Hobbit.
Nice.
Gear, yeah. So if you go on, actually, I don't know if you can see the link. So there's I'll just very quickly bore you with it, but you can see the link. Oh, I don't know if I can find it, but yeah. So I'm dressed up as this full works. Like they had proper makeup artists, and they had people there making the swords for the next. So they made all the garments for Avatar and things like that. It was surreal. I'll send you the link. I'll WhatsApp you the link so you can see. So we did Tourism New Zealand paid for us to go over there, and we had to do it was part of the hacker thing. We had to go and experience Maori culture, and I'll send you the WhatsApp, Jez, of the link, and you can send it to Morgan. You can see the costumes that they put us in and all things like that. It was mental what goes into a movie.
Definitely. Or at least we've got the promo photo sorted for this episode.
Yeah, you go.
You've just walked right into that one.
Yeah, so when I click on this now, hold on, I just I don't know if you'll see this now. I don't want to bore you with it, but where is it? So can you? So this is the. Oh, you're not going to see it. So this is the on the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this is New Zealand, Tourist New Zealand.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
If you see in a second, I had to do like whole hospitality, beekeeping.
Nice.
You'll see Weta Workshop now. So this is the Maori when I give up doing the Maori, but you can obviously edit all this out. But you'll see now when I go to Weta Workshop what they dress me up as. So this is all in New Zealand. Wellington's a stunning city, by the way. So this is Weta Workshop where they do all the.
Oh yeah.
So they.
Oh no, this is staying
in. You were like dwarf.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well done, mate. What an experience. Wayne, thank you so much once again. It's been great. It's been fantastic, and we really look forward to seeing you on Saturday as well.
In person, which is going to be surreal.
Yeah, that'd be nice. So for everyone else watching, you can like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more great content. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram and X for further updates. And we are proudly supported by Master Seal and Pi Design. Thanks, everyone. I've been Jez Davies.
I've been your illustrious co-host, Morgan Hewitt, cold in Durham.
And I've been Wayne Jones, coming to Norwich to pick up 3 points on Saturday.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you very much. Goodbye, everyone.
See you guys.